Hey guys, what's up? So in today's video, I'm going to be telling you how to get from Draco V1 all the way to V4. Before we begin, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I hope this video helps. Alright, so the very first thing you need to do is you need to talk to Uzoth. But you can't even talk to him unless you have Dragon Breath and Fire Essence. So real quick, you're going to need to head over to the second sea and talk to Sabi and get Dragon Breath for 1.5k fragments. And then you're going to need to level it up to 400 mastery. Sabi is located right over here. And then you're still going to need Fire Essence before you can talk to him. So you're going to need to head over to where the skeletons are, and then you're going to need to farm some bones. You can only purchase 10 times, and then you have to wait 2 hours. And my luck was terrible, so it took me like 3 days to get Fire Essence. I'm not even joking. And I got Hollow Essence like 4 different times as well. And once you finally get your Dragon Breath to 400 mastery, and you have the Fire Essence, you can finally learn Dragon Talon for the price that you see on the screen. And then you're going to need to level it up to 500 mastery. Okay, so as you can see, we actually have it to 500 mastery now. Now you can finally move on to the next step, which is gain all the belts. And as you can see, the first belt is the white belt, and you need to get this by defeating NPCs that are similar to your level, and you need to kill 20 NPCs. So what I just did is I just went to my quest, and then I just defeated 20 NPCs. Alright, this should be the last two. And if we go to check it, and yeah, 100%. So now you officially have your first belt. Okay, so now for the yellow belt, you basically just need to defeat some sea event NPCs. So you can literally be anything, like sharks, piranhas, the ships, Leviathan, sea beasts, but not rumbling waters, just one sea beast. I recommend you just do the piranhas and the sharks because they're like easier. But yeah, just keep doing that and check your percentage along the way until you reach 100%. Alright, so as you can see, we have done the yellow belt quest. Okay, now it's the orange belt. And for the orange belt, you literally just need to complete any trade. Alright, that should be the quest done. Yeah, 100%. And just to let you know, after you complete 3 belts, you have to wait a cooldown of 12 hours.
1 eternity later.
Okay, so now you're going to be able to do the next belt, which is the green belt. So for this one, you're going to need to survive a level 5 plus danger zone for 5 minutes. And you can't die, your ship can't get destroyed, nothing like that. So yeah. And yeah, 100%. Alright, up next is the blue belt. For this one, it's quite simple. Basically, a player just needs to drop you any fruit, and then that's it. Alright, that's the blue belt completed. Okay, so for the purple belt, Hantel Hunts, basically, you need to do that. So you're going to need to come to the Castle of the Sea and speak to this guy, and then basically just defeat the NPC he says. And you need to do it 3 times. Okay, so this should be the final. Oh look, we got the chalice. Alright, so purple belt is completed. And we're gonna also need to wait another 12 hours to do this again. So yeah, by the way guys, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Alright, we're back. So the red belt. So the red belt, you basically just gonna need to find rumbling waters and just defeat it. Okay, the red belt is acquired. Alright, now for the very last belt, the black one. In order to get the black belt, you're gonna need to get 3 dino bones. And to get the dino bones, you're gonna need to go to a prehistoric island. So you can either craft it yourself, or just look for someone who already has the magnet. But if you want to craft the magnet yourself, you're gonna need to do this guy's quest. So for example, we need to just defeat 3 of these Hydra Enforcers, and each one drops a Flame Ember. Okay, so this guy has a magnet, so I'm just gonna use his. After hours of searching, we finally found one. Finding a prehistoric island is no joke, it takes forever. This is a W strat, because if you have creation, you can just build like a fortress, like a protection around the skull, so the NPCs can't get on it. If you have someone who has creation, then basically you only need 2 people, or you can literally solo it. Or if you don't have creation, I recommend you have Buddha for the NPCs. I recommend you do this with friends, but if you're doing it with randoms, the less the better, so you can get more dino bones and stuff. To stop the volcano from erupting, you just need to find something like this, and then just use an attack on it. So if it's like flaming like this, just use your move, and then it will stop flaming. Right, time is almost up. Okay, so it's true that you do need the eggs, but you can't get the eggs unless you learn something called Dragon Tether, which you can't learn until you bring the bones back. So I recommend you come with a portal user. So basically they can open a portal, you go to the Hydra Island, you give the bones, you learn Dragon Tether, then come through the portal back and get the eggs. Alright, look, we have now finished completing all of the belts. We can now speak to the Dragon Wizard, which is the same guy who gives you Dragon Tether. So this is what I mean by like having the portal user. So then we're gonna need to give the Dragon Wizard an egg. We're gonna need to find another prehistoric island. So we could have just teleported back and then give him an egg. So yeah, it's just more easier. So this is how you get Draco V1. You just need to give him an egg. So now you're gonna need to craft a magnet, or you could use someone else's. You can only grab 1 egg per prehistoric island. Now after all of that, you now have Draco V1. Wow. And this isn't even V4, this is just to get V1. But don't fear, because from V1 to V3, it's so easy. Well, for the most part. So in order to get Draco V2, we're gonna need to give the Dragon Wizard 5 fire flowers. This is pretty interesting because like it's still not like very clear how the flowers actually just spawn. But what I do is I go to this area that's right next to the mansion. You just need to keep on defeating these NPCs and then check in around this area if any flowers spawn near you. For example, look, a flower just spawned, and all you do is just defeat these NPCs and then just keep looking around if a flower spawns near you. And for each flower you get, I think there's a 10-minute cooldown, so yeah. We have now gotten all 5 flowers. This took me like an hour. It shouldn't take you this long, but yeah. Alright, so now you would now get Draco V2. It's funny because like this guy gives you things to do and then you still have to pay him on top of that. It's like, you asked me to do something for you, like you should pay me. Alright guys, now you have Draco V2. Looks pretty cool. Alright, so for Draco V3, yeah, we need to defeat a Terror Shark. So I actually ended up dying, but not so fair, because even if you die, it still counts. Alright, so now we have done it, and we have to give this guy a whopping 3 million, but now we have Draco V3. Alright, that's it. You've done everything you can from these NPCs. You don't have to speak to the NPCs anymore. That's it. You're done. They literally just abandon you. Now it's time for V4, and oh my goodness, from V1 to V3 compared to V4, It's a whole nother level. Like, it's so much harder. It's like a whole nother ball game. The first thing we have to do is you have to craft 2 of these weapons, Dragon Heart and Dragon Storm, and we need an egg for Dragon Heart, and we need 2 eggs for Dragon Storm. So we're gonna craft Dragon Heart first. We now have enough to craft the Dragon Heart. It takes so long to get the eggs. I don't know why. It takes too long. Now we need to get this up to 500 mastery. For Dragon Storm, we need 2 eggs, and we also need to get this up to 500 mastery. So we got Dragon Heart to 500 mastery. And we finally got the last egg. We can finally craft Dragon Storm. And now we have that to 500 mastery. The next step is the Leviathan. It took me 6 hours to finally find the right Leviathan. It doesn't help that I died like 3 times. It was so stupid, bro. Okay, now we just need to hook the thing onto the heart and then drive it all the way to Hydra Island. But shout out to everyone who helped me. Like, the whole process of this, it took me like a whole month to finally complete Draco. Shout out to everyone who helped me during the process. Alright, so you're gonna need to drive it all the way up to here. And then the island becomes Freezing Hydra Island. Then you're gonna need to go light up all of these lanterns over here. And then you need to drop down here, and then that is literally it. There's only one more step, and you need to find a prehistoric island, and you need to do the trial. Alright, so once you complete the prehistoric island, you need to go down here. This is not even hard, this is easy, and I still failed 3 times. Like, such a skill issue, bro. Alright, so once you're here, you're gonna need to speak to this guy. Alright, much yap later, so you're gonna need to get 3 of these lanterns and then bring it all the way to the top. Apparently there's multiple glitches you can do to just cheese the parkour, but I didn't really know, so I just did it legitly and failed 3 times. But anyways, something that's good is if you stop moving for like 2 seconds, you get protected for like 5 seconds. But if you move while your screen is still red, you still die and you get reset to the bottom. Alright, 1 out of 3. Yeah, look, right here, because look, I still moved and then I got reset. And then I couldn't move for like 5 seconds.
One eternity later.
Alright, we are finally done it. Oh my gosh. And yeah, we have Draco V4. And then if you want to upgrade it, you can just keep doing the trials and then you can fully upgrade it. This is probably one of the most worst grinds I've ever done. And the hardest part was just the prehistoric islands and the leviathans. Just spending hours finding one and then failing it and then having to do it again. But anyways, here's the awakening. And like I said, you can upgrade it if you want, and then yeah. This grind was crazy. That just made me think about it, like, what if you had to do the Draco V4 grind for the rest of your life? Like, what if you had to do this for the rest of your life? Yeah, my sanity would be ruined. What's even going to be worse is having to achieve every achievement in bloxfruits, like every achievement, title, everything. How's that? Like, I can't even think about it, like, it's just too much, bro. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope this video helped you out a lot. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and yeah, goodbye.